This is Stephanie at Hightower Stitching. Today I have the last part of the hexagon quilt project. This is the back of the old quilt, and this was the front of it, part of the front. And I remember I was going to try and do exactly what they had done on the back, also the quilting. And so this is a fan. Sometimes you see it as a Baptist fan. And I had never done that before, so I started investigating ways to do it. And I'm going to share a couple of those with you, and then I'm going to show you on the machine how I attacked that. The first thing that I had seen, and I've used it with kids in school, where you have a strip and you want to make a circle. And here I have, these are a piece of the template plastic with holes 1 inch apart. I used a 1/8 inch punch, and you set the corner right here, and you put your pencil in there, and you start making these circles. And this one I actually sewed with just a regular foot on my sewing machine. Then I tried a couple more, and one of them I used the satin foot, and then I tried using the darning foot, and I put the feed dog down. I didn't like that, didn't like the way that went. And then I picked up the zig-zag attachment, and it really did as well as my walking foot that I had used at the beginning. And that made me remember a tool that I had at school for the kids to make circles with. And I went and pulled it out, and it's just a piece of PVC pipe. This one we've marked off at 3/4 inch, and works the same way. You put it at the corner, put a pencil there to hold it, put your second pencil in the next dot, or whichever one you want to go through, which hole, and then you move it back and forth. Now this one is longer, so it's got a little bit of weight to it, but it worked really well. Both of these were done with this one. And then the other day I saw on sale a master for the fans, and would be for a smaller quilt where you want to do it smaller. Okay, I was going to demonstrate on the quilt exactly how I'm marking these off. And the other quilt, they went around the outside edge all the way around, and so I did that, and I've been really lucky without it bunching up in places for me. So I'm going to come right here. Here's a piece of a fan. Here's a piece of a fan going around here. I'm going to take my inch mark, and I'm going to set it right here. And I'm going to use 3 things. I'm going to use 2 mechanical pencils. Mechanical pencils work really well. And then I'm going to use a piece of chalk in the holder if I need it. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the other hole. And I'm just gently going to move it. Sometimes it gets caught up there, so I'll go back and I'll move it down, and you can see there I've already got the start. And you don't have to kill yourself making it really dark. You don't really want to. You just want to have enough that you can see it. I also saw a demonstration where somebody just actually took the pencil and didn't use the lead and made a mark, and then you go up into the other one and keep going up there. Now this one actually went all the way out because this is a big quilt. It was like 72 by 84. So I didn't really want to make small ones because I'd be making them forever. And then one of my other hints to you is to don't think you're going to sit down and do them all at once, because I found that I could do 5 or 6, and then I got really tired of sewing and I had to go take a break. And so I'd go ahead and I'd finish that out till I had it all out there, and then looks like I might have a little emptiness right there, so I'd come back and move it up into this corner and then get that. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm in the middle of the quilt, so to start I'm going to do like you do on a regular quilt. I'm going to go down all the way. I'm going to pull up the thread from the bobbin, grab it and pull it out, because later I'm going to come back and tie a knot and push that down into the sandwich. And you can see I've got several strings already where I did that. But what I intend to do is go from this line around the curve and then travel a little bit on the next line and come back without taking and stopping. Now, one thing I found out is that if you try going too slow with this, you will fall off the line. So when it's one of the little pieces, you could go slower, but when you get to the bigger ones, it works better. Get your hands positioned, because you're going to move it. And I'm going to go ahead and see how far I can get, because I'm actually going to turn. I used this hand a lot when I was going this direction. So let's see if we can get this going. And when I stop, I found that my natural tendency was to pick this up and turn it so it looked at that line. And I found out that was a mistake, because it would automatically throw it off. So I left that there. I gave myself some more fabric. I put my hands next to it, and then I started up again. And then I came to a stop, and that was right on. So now I'm going to turn and go up to the next line. And you can see right here is the line. I'm going to travel up to the next spot. And it really works well. And everything is not perfect, because you can get to some places where there's a lot of material that you have to do. But this is your quilt. And remember, this is based on an old quilt, and it had some things that weren't right in it. If you wanted a perfect quilt, you could go and buy one at one of the stores. I've got everything turned again. All right, and I'm going to take off around. And I'm going to stop. Now this time I think I am going to turn it, because I could see it really going sideways. And then hope when it starts out, I'm going to let it go. And we're going down to the next one. And stop. And then just keep going back and forth. And at the end, then I just knot it off. And I drew my lines for the next part. I only drew one section at a time, because I wasn't sure where I needed it. And so I would just take and knot off on this one. So I'll just knot off so I can pull it out. And you can see the little section that I just did. And there's little bumps in it. But when you see all of it together, it doesn't matter. And it's easier when you get to the bigger sections too. And I've laid the quilt out on the table so that you could see where I had gotten to. And you can see all of my fans. And because this was a large quilt, the large fans really fit. And in the middle, you can see the part I'm going to go back and get to in just a little bit. But there are some nifty tools that you can buy and that you can make on your own that you can use to make the fan or make the Baptist fan. And I'm going to do it again because it was really nice. And I really thought about hand stitching with that pattern would be very nice too. This is Stephanie at Hightower Stitching. If there are any additional notes that I think that I forgot to tell you, I will put those in the description. If you liked this or you found something in here that you might be able to use, please subscribe and hit like. Thank you.